What is up, guys? My name is Chaotic Psycho, and finally, it is here. My final thoughts on Destiny 2 Year 4. Only about, let me check here. About a week and a half away from the Witch Queen's release. So, I wanted to make this video sort of looking back at what Year 4 has done for Destiny 2. Which I think it goes without saying that Year 4 of Destiny 2 was not the best year for this game. From how horrible the Beyond Light launch was, to the amount of content, the stories we got, the weapons that we got this year were just kind of meh, at least up until summer when Season of the Splicer dropped. Because, in my opinion, Splicer was really the only fun time of Year 4. But I wanted to go over each part. I wanted to talk about each part of Beyond Light and Year 4 to kind of say what I like, what I don't like, and what I think Bungie could improve upon going into the Witch Queen in a few weeks. Here we go. So, Beyond Light. I did not like Beyond Light in terms of its content, because after going back through the story, it's like playing through GTA 5. It's like playing through any story that you love or like, where you think it's good, and then when you go back into it, hit this time with an open mind trying to find out what you missed. You realize things like Avarice was a throwaway villain. You don't actually kill Avarice at the end of Beyond Light, so it's more than likely that she's going to come back. And overall, just some parts that didn't make sense, like how, Eris, Morn, and Drifter were in a couple of the trailers for Beyond Light, and they were there for one cutscene. And then they just sat in the sidelines and had nothing to do with the actual story. Now, hopefully with Witch Queen and Season of the Risen, yes, this video is being recorded after the Vidoc. Hopefully they'll fix up what they were going to do with Eris, and hopefully Drifter at some point, because we haven't gotten an update on Drifter's story since Arrivals, and that was over a year ago. That was 2020. In terms of what Beyond Light had by the end of its launch window, which typically is like the first season, so like until like February of 21. I mean, the only reason I would ever recommend buying Beyond Light for is to get Stasis and to play Deepstone Crypt. Otherwise, you really shouldn't spend your money on Beyond Light. And that's coming from a veteran Destiny player who's owned every expansion and also got the freaking 30th anniversary thing. I said I was not going to do it, but I ended up doing it anyway. I wanted Galahorn. But I'll get to that later. But I think the main problem that everyone had with Beyond Light, and what I think was the main problem with Beyond Light, was that we didn't have good content to make up for the content we lost when the DLC came out. Because I think Beyond Light is the only DLC in gaming history where it's a big expansion that costs almost as much as a new game, yet has way less content than the game had 5 months ago. Like almost like a third less content. Now, I do want to say I am both for and against content vaulting in a way. I'm happy that Bungie is able to make better content and get rid of content that literally no one is playing, but I do feel the pain that a lot of people feel when They get rid of content that people like, that people paid for, like how they're getting rid of Forsaken. And honestly, that was my drive away from Destiny for a couple months. When I stopped playing from like October to pretty much January, it was mostly because of the decisions Bungie was making, like vaulting Forsaken, making the dungeons exclusive to the deluxe edition, and all sorts of nonsense. But overall, I think Beyond Light, in terms of the expansions that we've gotten over Destiny's life, I think Beyond Light is a pretty D to C tier expansion. You really only buy it for like a couple things, and everything else you can just kind of blow through in a few hours. And all the little stuff like the penguin statues, the augment stuff, like no one cares about that stuff other than completionists. And I don't know about you, but I try to be a completionist, but not for games that are constantly getting updated, games that are constantly getting content removed, games that are having methods to get these things changed or patched or whatever. Wait for a price drop. Best I can say is wait for a price drop. But hopefully, like I said, Witch Queen fixes a lot of these issues that Beyond Light had. Now on for the season of the hunt. There's no beating around the bush. Season of the Hunt was pretty bad in terms of story, in terms of content, and I think the main thing that people had a problem with was that unlike Beyond Light and I was trying to say unlike Shadowkeep and what looks like what Witch Queen is doing, Beyond Light and Season of the Hunt were not shipped together. It wasn't $30 went towards the DLC and the last 10 went towards the season. It was you spent $40 on the DLC and then an extra 10, so $50 for the season. So that meant if you're a person who doesn't buy the deluxe edition and you're like me and you buy the expansion but you buy the seasons when they come out and not spend your money ahead of time, then you spent $50 on this thing, on Beyond Light and Hunt at pretty much the same time. I think the only saving grace that Season of the Hunt had was Hawkmoon and maybe like, no, in my opinion, Hawkmoon was the only saving grace of that season. Otherwise, in my opinion, Season of the Hunt was just outright bad. Well, that was fast. I guess we can transition smoothly into Season of the Chosen. Okay, so I did not complete Season of the Chosen, and honestly, I do not care to. I personally had no interest in Season of the Chosen, although I do think that the content it had was sort of okay. I mean, we had the Proving Ground strike, which was the first time we got a strike as part of a season in so long. Actually, I don't even think we ever got a strike as part of a season. We got the Battlegrounds, which are going to be fused with the Vanguard strikes here soon to just Vanguard operations, which sounds neat because apparently the Battlegrounds is literally just like a 5-minute strike. From what I've heard, I haven't played the Battlegrounds in so long. But hopefully, Vanguard operations will change that. Now, unlike Hunt, in my opinion, Dead Man's Tale did not save this season. It helped it, but it wasn't the only saving grace of the season. In my opinion, DMT is one of those guns where it just feels fun to use. Kind of like Last Word, kind of like Thorn a few times, a bunch of other guns, and it was a unique concept, but it was kind of like opposite Last Word in a way, where because like Last Word is only good on controllers and not great on mouse and keyboard, but DMT is good on mouse and keyboard, but not very great on. I mean, it's doable on controller, as you can probably see in the gameplay here. DMT works on controller, but it's not like Last Word good, and it's not like mouse and keyboard good. But that was Season of the Chosen. Now let's get into my favorite season of the year, Season of the Splicer. In my opinion, Season of the Splicer was the best season that we got in year 4. I mean, think about it. We had the return of Mithrax. We questioned some of our allies. Lakshmi's dead. We started having our, because there was a rumor that started a while ago where it was like Osiris was Savathun, which ended up turning out to be true, but it was made incredibly obvious during this season, which I thought was pretty good. The story was good, even though what was it called? I forget what it's called. The frickin' the offensive that we got for Splicer. I don't know. I'll put it as a subtitle. Anyway, that mode kind of got a bit repetitive after a while, which a lot of these horde modes tend to be repetitive after about like the eighth or ninth time playing it. And the main thing, now this season was also when we got Transmog, and in my opinion, Transmog was the only downside of season of the Splicer. I keep wanting to call it season 14 because that's technically what it is, but Transmog was kind of odd. Okay, so for those who don't know how Transmog in Destiny 2 works, you can get these bounties from Ada down in the thing, the annex, and you can get 10 of them per class per season, which means you can get 10 for each class, which equals 30 for your 3 characters. And it was BS. Like, seriously, most people grinded for all of them in a matter of days, especially since the rate that you obtain the synthesis, whatever the thing is you use to buy these bounties, it was calculated that you get them every 2 minutes just by sitting in a patrol zone and doing absolutely nothing. So that was odd. And I think that, hold on, let me backtrack a little bit. But what if you wanted to customize more than just 30 pieces of armor with 10 of them? Like, you could transmog 2 whole armor sets. 2 whole armor sets. But what if you wanted more? Well, for a measly $5, you can buy 5 of them. Or no, it's like 300 for like one. For one pack. I don't know the price, but Transmog was BS, and I have not really used it much this season, as much as I wanted to last season. Mostly because if you played during Season of the Splicer, you got a bonus 10 just for playing while Transmog was new. So technically you got 60 for that season, 20 for each character, so that was 4 whole armor sets. And I think it was calculated that you either had to spend... You had, like... Okay, so this was at the time, if you were to transmog any piece of gear, any armor set that was in the game at the time, you would have to either play for seasons, like seasons on seasons, and get all 10 of these bounties for one character, or you had to spend like well over, I think it was like $1,100. I do not remember. This was months ago. Keep in mind, this was when Transmog first came out, so that was when people were calculating everything. And obviously, I can't talk about Season of the Splicer without referring to the big elephant in the room, the return of the Vault of Glass, which, in my opinion, was probably the best thing Bungie has done all year, besides Deepstone Crypt and maybe Grasp of Avarice. So, Vault of Glass was the first ever remastered raid, right? This raid was tough on day 1 in D2. Like, if you were there for my little live stream, which didn't last for very long, we didn't get past raising the spire. So, eesh. And I had to wait days. Now, there is rumors coming out that Bungie's going to remaster another raid this year, and everyone's saying that it's going to be either Crota or King's Fall. And in my opinion, if they're going to remaster King's Fall, please don't make Oryx as much as a freaking grind as he is, because you have to have a damn degree in psychology and physics just to know how to kill Oryx. But Crota, it's like doing a Lost Sector. Playing Crota is like playing Crota was like playing a Master Lost Sector. That's how easy Crota was. But Vogue was good. I heard Master's a good challenge. I don't know. I have not beaten Master Vogue yet. I'm kind of just waiting for more gear to come out. I'm kind of waiting for Time Lost Fatebringer to come back. Otherwise, that was pretty much it for Season of the Splicer. Overall, Splicer was good. Was it the best season we've ever gotten? In year 4, yes. In Destiny history, no. Now we need to talk about the big boy. I did not like Season of the Lost. In my opinion, I think Season of the Lost, in terms of story, was the weakest story we've had. Because even though I didn't like Hunt, at least Hunt sort of made sense. And even though I didn't play Chosen, I watched videos of it. Chosen had some stakes. Splicer was pretty good. And then, in my opinion, Lost just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, oh yeah, we have Savathun trapped in this thing, right? So, she says that she's gonna tell us the secret of the pyramids. And all this other crap if we rid her of her worm. Spoiler alert, that's not gonna freaking happen. We've known this isn't gonna happen. Because chances are, you watched the live stream before the season came out, and realized, oh look, Savathun betrays us. We know this 6 months ahead of time now. So now, when we're ultimately disappointed that Savathun betrays us, instead of telling us the secrets of the pyramids, we won't be like, oh my god, I can't believe she betrayed us. We'll be like, oh wait, oh wow, she betrayed us, like we didn't see that coming. You know, we've known about this for months. And then it's like, alright, I need you to go fetch these Techian things over the next 8 weeks. So then you do that, and by the time the story wrapped up, it was October, right? Because season came out in late August, then you had all of September, and then it was like early to mid-October before Festival of the Lost kicked off that the story wrapped up for the most part, or the main part of the story for now. And he ended up doing things like getting Ager's Scepter, exploring things, yada yada yada. Astral alignment was pretty meh. Not the best offensive activity, but compared to the one from Splicer, it's not as good. I don't know why Bungie keeps trying to they keep trying to make something that's similar to, what was it called? Menagerie. They keep trying to make something like Menagerie, but end up failing in almost everywhere because Menagerie was a really good freaking batch of content. And it was actually fun. And then once you finish the 8th week, you got the last techie in, and then Marasov's like, alright, I'm gonna get this exorcism set up. Alright, you can go now. I'll see you again in like 3 months. Okay, if anyone here does exorcisms, does it take 3 months to set these things up, or something? Because I honestly do not know, but I'm pretty sure it does not take 3 months to set up an exorcism, when in the end we're just going to get betrayed anyway. Now, I get it. Season of the Lost was set up to be a very long season, because back in Season of the Chosen, Witch Queen got delayed. Like, massively delayed. And by the looks of it, it looks like that delay that Witch Queen got is actually paying off compared to Beyond Light's delay, because Beyond Light was delayed by like, what, a month and a half? Witch Queen got delayed by whatever time. I think it was supposed to release like November, but ended up getting pushed back to February, late February. And it looks like that it's paying off for the most part. We don't know at this point. We don't know if crafting's going to be BS. We don't know if the story's going to be not good. We don't know if Void 3.0 is going to be trash. We don't know if Legendary Campaign is going to be brutal and all sorts of stuff. I guess I'll come back in about a week when the season finally finishes. And if they end up doing a thing like they did back in Arrivals, where they do an event that shuts the game down for Witch Queen, then I'll definitely stream that. But right now that's unconfirmed. We don't know yet. But I guess that's pretty much it for Lost at the moment. But there's one more that I need to go over. In my opinion, the Bungie's 30th anniversary pack is not worth the price tag it has. Okay, so here's the thing. With the 30th anniversary update, there was Halo, Marathon, and all sorts of other Bungie franchise-themed weapons, and the Dares of Eternity, which was added for free. But if you spent $25, or if you bought the Witch Queen Deluxe plus 30th Anniversary Bonus Edition, whatever, Gold, Platinum, Ultimate, Master, Next Gen PS5 Edition, then you got a dungeon, 3 guns from Destiny 1, a Thorn armor set, and Gallahorn. That was it. That's all you spent $25 on. In my opinion, though, it was good. The content that was added was good. Dares of Eternity is kinda repetitive, but then again, it is sort of unique with the whole, like, oh, it's like a game show kind of thing. Which does make it unique, but at the same time, it just kind of gets irritating when you hear the freaking Star Horse neigh every 5 seconds. Now, Grasp of Avarice, on the other hand, is an amazing dungeon. It's just, it sucks that it's locked behind $25 and is the main focus of that $25 DLC next to Gallahorn. And by the way, Gallahorn is good in Destiny 2. However, I will say this for anyone who is planning on buying the 30th anniversary pack: do not spend $25 on this thing. Wait for a price drop if they do one. Wait for a price drop, buy it then. I'd say this DLC is around like $15 maximum in terms of what it has rather than how good it is. Because the content there is good, but there's not enough to warrant that $25 price tag. Because what would you rather buy? A DLC that has one exotic and one dungeon? Or would you rather buy something like Shadowkeep and get access to all the Year 3 weapons, as well as Pit of Heresy, the Shadowkeep campaign, Garden of Salvation, and a few other things? Wait for a price drop. And that brings us to today. And as of recording this video, it is February 9th of 2022. Well, what can I say? Year 4 as a whole was not very good. It had some good parts, and it had some bad parts. A lot of bad parts. I think the main things that carried this year was crossplay, which I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, but that was added in Season of the Lost. We got full crossplay. We got the first remastered raid, which was free for all players. We got the Bungie's 30th anniversary pack, which again, I'm cool with the content, just not cool with the $25 price tag. But as a whole, if I was to rate year 4, then I'd put it at about C tier. Because even though there was a lot of good content, there was a whole lot of bad content. And hopefully Bungie cleans up their act with Witch Queen. Witch Queen looks promising. Season of the Risen looks promising. And I'm excited for where we go next. So yeah,